Yeah, we've received our letters of intent from 21 student athletes that they've all been confirmed through compliance and all gone through the right way, and this is what we anticipate signing. So I think it's a good group for what we're looking for. There's athleticism across the board at every position, and I think that's what we strive for. Addressed a lot of needs in our program, in terms of certain position-specific things. We needed some young quarterbacks to come into the program, some tight ends to come into the program, with David Paulson leaving and Brendan Williams being gone. Addressed some lines, what we needed in the D-line. Brought in a punter, with Jackson Rice going to become a senior. Dylan has the opportunity to redshirt. He has a redshirt year available to him. So if we can groom him and not have to play him next year, that's kind of what our game plan is with Dylan. And then we brought in some athletes that I think will add to our explosiveness on both sides of the ball and really got a good group. I thought John Neal did a great job in terms of what we're bringing in from a secondary standpoint. And we believe we addressed our running back need with LaMichael going out, with Byron Marshall coming in. So that's it. No questions? Awesome. We're good to go. What's up, Gary?
Gotcha. Chip, as you look through the group and the class completed now, is it your presence here, the continuity of the staff, the recent success in BCS games, or is it some combination that brings the recruits here?
Good question. I think it's a combination of everything, Gary. Obviously we're one of only two staffs nationwide that's been together for 3 straight years, us and Army. So there's something to be said for that. There's also, a lot to be said for the product that's been on the field for the last 3 years here. Being a 3 straight BCS games and coming off a Rose Bowl win doesn't hurt you. And then really it's our school, in the community that we have, the passion that we have, how many sellouts we've had. I think it's in the 80s now. What the fan base is around here. And with most of these young men, not all of them, but most of them, we try to get them to visit during the season because that's the best experience for us in terms of having an official visit. So,
Coach, this being the first day that LOIs could be sent in, do you anticipate any more LOIs?
I don't know. We have scholarships available, but I don't anticipate, but we'll see.
Okay. Had Kenyon Barner forgone his senior year, would you have recruited another running back?
Probably, yeah. I mean, we kind of replaced what left, so it always helps when you know if kids are coming back or not coming back. So,
Chip, you had a lot of true freshmen last year that came in and made big impacts for you. Do you foresee any of the kids that you've signed today to be able to do that, or at least, do you foresee that at all?
We had 7, play last year for us. Some of it's by need. We were certainly a couple positions banged up, and some kids were forced into action, at linebacker specifically, but at tight end specifically, with Brandon being out, trying to find a backup tight end for David. But in other situations, DeAnthony was a kid that we just had to find a spot in the field for. Etho was a kid we had to find a spot in the field for. Jake Fisher was a kid. So in this group, there's some kids that we believe have the ability, and all we ever tell them in the recruiting process is that they'll get the opportunity. We practice at such a rate, in such a tempo, that everybody gets reps and everybody's going to be on film. So, the one thing I think kids know when they come to this program is when you are done practice, I don't think we've ever had any kid complain that I don't get enough reps. I think at the tempo and pace we play at, everybody gets a chance to show themselves on tape. But the future for us is right now, so it's not like we're building for, in 2 or 3 years we think we're going to be a really good team. We believe we're going to be a really good team again next year, and if someone in this class that we just signed can help and contribute to our success, then yeah, we'll play them.
Wow. Were you intent on taking 2 quarterbacks? Did Darren's decision affect that?
No, we were always taking 2 quarterbacks, Rob. We'd like to be at either 4 or 5, so we offered both Jake and Jeff, and they both committed really early to us. So they were committed way before Darren made his decision that he wasn't coming back. So and then at that point in time, there was no one else out there that was available that we said, hey, we're gonna, we're not just gonna take a kid for the sake of taking a kid to fill a class out. So we got some kids like Dustin Haynes, that been in our program for a while now, and is still a quarterback for us. Darryl Hawkins has got quarterback ability, but if we get to the 5th quarterback at some point in time during the season, we got a lot of other issues. So, yeah, it has happened.
Coach, in about a week's time, you went from discussing the job with Tampa Bay to getting back on the recruiting trail.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how you addressed that with recruits and then how the process went through leading up to getting Eric Armstead to commit?
2-part question, yeah. With the recruits, I told them, last Sunday I went through exactly what they went through. I was presented with an opportunity, and like I do and I asked them to do in the recruiting process, is gather as much information as possible, and then make an educated decision on what's the best situation for you. In that, we've never pressured any recruits into saying, hey, you got to tell us what's going on here, or we're going to offer it to someone else. That's not how we operate. I think our method of recruiting is this is what we have to offer you. If you feel it's a great fit, then we'd love to have you. If you don't feel it's a great fit, I can't convince you that it's a great fit. Bringing him in here to be a defensive lineman, and you watch him run around the basketball court. There's some YouTube clips of him. He's athletic enough, and obviously with that length and size, we've been doing it with some smaller guys. Obviously, if you can do it with some bigger guys, but you don't drop off from an athleticism standpoint, is what we're looking for. So for what we do defensively, he's a defensive lineman for us. So.
Coach, your ability to stop USC and Matt Barkley this year with these recruits, how do you think that they'll be able to help stop them playing in California this year?
I got no idea. We got a lot of respect for Matt. He had a great game against us last year, and we'll see. I don't know how many of these kids, will even be on the trip when we go down to play USC, but that's a long ways away. But hopefully, we'll win this year.
Chip, one more question about Eric. When he put this hat on, he said he wanted to play basketball too. I mean, you're aware of that. Was Dana aware of that?
Dana's aware of it. Dana talked to him. So, if we have any kids here that, we have kids that participate in track. If a kid can play both sports, I think Dana has the same rules I have. As long as they're doing well academically, then and they have the ability to do it. I'm sure there's a lot of kids that wish, they could contribute on the basketball court or the baseball field or track. It's a lot easier said than done. It's a pretty tough thing to do, but he'll be given the opportunity. So,
Adam, another Armstead follow-up. He said one of the tipping points was your honesty with him and just being open that he may not be here his whole career. Is that a typical message for you with most recruits, and why is that important for you?
That's been my message since I got here. I mean, I don't think anybody can say where they're going to be 4 years from now. So, can you tell me that you're going to be at the Register Guard for 4 years? I want to get you on record too. So, we locking you in? I mean, I think it's an honest part of this business is that the average lifespan of a college football coach at each individual school isn't very long. So, what did Mike Stoops, a great friend of mine, I'm sure he told kids he thought he was going to be there long, but, sometimes it's your decision, sometimes it's not your decision. So, we don't worry about things we can't control. We do have control on certain things, but I think with Eric or with any other kid I recruited, I think they appreciate you being honest and upfront with them, and if you start making false promises about playing time or you're going to play this position and then move the kid the next time when he gets on campus, I think you're just setting yourself up for disaster. So we try to be straightforward in everything we do in terms of making sure, again, like I said earlier, do they have all the information they need necessary to make an educated decision? And that's what we kind of hit it off with Eric, because I think that's the way he approached recruiting. He wanted to find out exactly where he stood in every program, and then sat back with him and his family and made a decision to come here. So, and we were excited about that. So.